Thank you, Charlotte. And yes, thank you, everyone. It's so wonderful to hear what your experiences have been like this year. So just it's brief from me because I'm going to pass over to each of the grantees of the incubator to share just for 2 minutes each, just briefly, a little overview of their project. So I know this has been a lot of people have been anticipating this moment to find out who was selected for the call for proposals. And like I said, we really received a huge number of applications, and we're so grateful to everyone who took the time to submit an application. And just a huge congratulations to those who were selected. It was not an easy decision at all, but we're really honored and delighted to be partnering with you. So I hope, do we have Teresa with us on the call? Teresa, feel free to.
Yes, I'm here. I'm
Brilliant,
here.
brilliant. So I'll pass over to you first, please. And we have a slide on your project. So
Thank
please just
you.
share for just 2 minutes or so about your project.
Okay. So I also need Katie. I think she's there already. So I'm really excited to be here today. It was a very stressful day because I was in the hospital with the heavy flu, but I think I can talk now. Before I couldn't. So the leak kit, it's a methodology that we are sharing between Brazil and and Wales, um, about conscious consumption. Actually, uh, sorry, sorry. Um, so, and about 20 years ago, we started in Brazil to do this kind of conscious consumption workshops with kids. And our methodology that we are starting to make it stronger and deeper because of this sharing with Wales is about these 4 parts you can see here in the screen. So we actually uh, act with the kids and give the kids and share with the kids 4 parts of the food system. So first of all, history and geography. We find one food that is kind of an identity food of that country, of that village, or the group of the territory, and we start to make to bring some kind of concepts and how can I say that contents that can make those kids understand that food is not something that you buy, from the supermarket, or something that you just have an idea about it. So it's contextualize what they eat. So we have these 4 parts, which is history and geography, then symbolic and cultural, then culinary and nutrition, and finally conscious eating. So for 10 years in Brazil, we did this with manioc, cassava, which is the staple food of the indigenous people in Brazil. And now we are going to share with Katie with the leek culture of Wales. And it's very interesting because it's been a big challenge to change from Brazilian culture to Welsh culture. And but it's been fantastic to see that we are all one world, and that food is something that is a language. It's a way that we connect each other, and it's something that can be useful for health and for fun and for pleasure, but also to give ourselves identity and to make ourselves linked with the land. So this is going to be on February. We are going to go to Wales and share this knowledge. We are already sharing by Zoom and making this translation of the concept and the methodology. And that's it. I think maybe Katie would like to step in and say something.
Yeah, thanks, Teresa. Hi, I'm Katie from Food Sense Wales, and it's been absolutely amazing to work with Teresa and her team on this project. And it's something that I think we discussed from really early on when we first met. And I think we have lots of opportunities in Wales to situate this work also within the the government as well, because we have a rollout of free school meals for all children in primary schools for the younger age groups in Wales, which is a similar policy to the one that's in Brazil. And we also have a new curriculum, so the new structure to how children are taught in the classroom, and teachers have the ability to be much more flexible in the way in which they teach children, and healthy lifestyles and being globally responsible are part of that curriculum, and this fits in really well with that. So as well as working closely with the children and looking at how we develop the methodology with Teresa, we also have opportunities to kind of feed that into government as well. So it's exciting.
Yes, and I'd like to add just that it's been wonderful to fit in Thich Nhat Hanh methods of mindfulness eating and mindfulness cooking. So we have all, the round of everything that we wanted in this new methodology that is going to be tested.
Thank you so much, Katie and Teresa. Wonderful to hear about this. And I'd now like to pass over to the team from Shramik Bharti in India that we've been hearing about already mentioned in this call. And I think is that Rakesh or Nilmani who would like to present on this.
We will do that. Hello everyone, I am Rakesh from India. We are using universal human values for natural farming with the support of CoFSA. So we will be teaching a philosophy of universal human values to the farmers so that they can understand the interconnectedness of material world, the biological world, the animal world, and the human being. So we will be contributing in deepening their understanding of this connectedness and the commitment to the natural farming. We feel that otherwise, if we are teaching only the natural farming, there are so many pressures, the market pressure, the peer pressure. Many times farmers slip back. So if they have the understanding of this interconnectedness in all forms of the material, biological, animal, and human being, then they will be more committed to continue with responsibility, growing their crops using the natural farming techniques. This universal human values is based on a new philosophy called Madhyastha Darshan, the coexistential philosophy developed some 50 years ago in India. So we will, this universal human values is based mainly on that. So we will be conducting 5 workshops of 5 days each to teach these value system with small and marginal farmers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rakesh. Brilliant. I'd now like to pass over to our next grantee, who is Sarah, which is presented by Sarah Keblatin. Thank you. And just a reminder to please stick just to 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thanks, Alice and Noemi. Yeah, so our project is a collaboration between 3 regions, but piloting in 3 countries from the Global South. And we are working with a South-to-South approach. And it's called the Ubuntu to Kapwa project. Ubuntu, as probably some of you know, means I am because you are. Beautiful tradition from African nations, and Kapwa is from the Philippines, the concept of the shared self. And because Colombia and Cameroon have been, Colombia's example will be working with the African descendants that have lived in Colombia. So there's that connection with Ubuntu. And so it's a collaboration with the concept, the worldview, the map that more than 20 years that it has been developed by the Global Eco-Village Network and Gaia Education on the Eco-Village design framework. But over the years, from the Global South, we've always wanted to kind of localize it and also bring in a methodology that's rooted in our local wisdom and indigenous knowledge. And we wanted to draw a methodology that actually we've already been doing, but as a way of harvesting, as a way of building a pattern, as a way of making recommendations at how we have worked and have done projects, but using a deep design approach from the edges. We're saying edges because the countries involved, Philippines, Colombia, Cameroon, have also the context of climate change and conflict. And so we're also weaving the factors of resilience and regeneration in addressing regenerative food systems. And so yeah, and I wanted to share how we're gonna do it. I'm passing this on to Margarita if her internet is strong. She wanted to share the second slide. Or maybe not. Margarita, are you there? Not. I can continue, just let me know. Basically, we're working on a journey, listening, inspired by indigenous ways. We try to look at the pattern of listening, honoring, dreaming, offering, learning, and celebrating, and weaving a lot of the traditions in, like the food offerings we have in Asia and ordination of trees, spiritual payments in Latin America, rites of passage in Africa. So we're weaving more indigenous and modern practices together, but at the heart of it is what is already rooted in the local practice, making that visible, from moving from invisible to visible, and making that a process that would be integrated in our formal approach to addressing regenerative food systems. Some of us have already been working with the government in supply chains, in activism, and in many ways. It's already there, so we wanted to highlight those.
Thank you so much, Sarah. That's fantastic. Thank you. Okay, and then just for our last but definitely not least grantee, I'll pass over to Luis Camargo.
Thank you, Alice. And I'm so inspired by the stories we've just heard. And actually, they all let's say reinforce our project. Our project ultimately is looking or thinking based in the hypothesis that, the way we tell our stories is that the way we can imagine our futures and our ways. So it's really focusing on looking at narratives and new narratives of food systems and how we can frame new narratives that shift a little bit the common modern narrative in food systems towards a narrative that connects the soil all the way to the mouth in a let's say, conscious and a heartfelt way, in such a way that we can really start telling stories of the food that we eat and the interconnections, the interdependencies, and how all the processes that go from the magic of a seed sprouting and giving fruit to the food on our table really taking place really needs to be accounted into the stories we tell of the food, and how that can mold our relationship with food and food systems. So our project is really looking at all the narratives out there and trying to understand how we can really mold a new narrative that can then be shared with others. We're starting with a public that is influencers and journalists, thinking that since they tell stories every day, if they have tools to tell new stories and different stories about food systems, we might be able to inspire others to look at food systems in different ways. But we definitely understand, and looking at the research we've been doing and the guide we're developing, this can be definitely molded and applied to decision makers, to families, to many other groups of interest that can actually, reflect on the stories they tell about food. So in this case, we hope that our project inspires telling new stories and empowers all of us that are in CoFSA to really activate our capacity as storytellers, and start telling the story of really the food system we imagine with heart and we imagine with abundance for the world to come. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you so much.